welcome to the EarthtonesGirl podcast. This is a special episode. Today I'm going to be talking about the No Fear sock knitting class online. Finally, what you've all been waiting for, the details for the class. I am so excited to finally share all this information with you. And right off the bat, I want to thank you all for your patience with this. I've been talking about this for months, and it's taken me a while to figure out all of the details and exactly how I wanted to do it. And I have finally figured that all out. And I really wanted to do it the right way, what I perceive to be the right way, and start the way I wanted to go on. So I'm really, really pleased with this. And I hope you will be too. I think you will be. So ultimately, I wanted to create an online sock knitting class that would be as inclusive as possible and be available to as many people as possible. Originally, I wanted to do the class on the Patreon platform, which is a paid for platform, but I couldn't figure out how to price it. There are going to be a lot of videos in this series, and I wasn't sure how to do it as an ongoing payment situation, or as a lump sum payment, or as a tiered payment. I just wasn't sure how to do this so that people would get the most out of it and make it available to people. So, and also, to be completely honest, I'm just glancing down at my notes here, also find a way to make it work for my lifestyle. I am a wife and mother. I do have two very young children, and there is a lot of pressure when you are now taking money for a service that you are providing. And I value my work and value the knowledge that I want to share with you greatly, but removing the money aspect of it doesn't devalue me or what I'm creating, nor does it give it value by putting a price tag on it. And I was reminded recently by a very, very dear friend who said, traditionally and throughout history, the art of making, whatever that making is, was done by handing down the information. Whether you apprenticed with a shoemaker, or you apprenticed with a blacksmith, or you apprenticed with a seamstress, it was information that was passed along. And I really, when that was said to me, it struck a chord. And I really want to continue that tradition here on my YouTube channel and within my feed, within my space, my creative space. So I ultimately decided that the online workshop will be free. And I can't tell you how happy I am about that decision. The removal of pressure, the making it available to people. I just think that is definitely the way to go. So the class will be free. And yeah, there's going to be a lot of information. So that said, let's talk about what's going to be covered. This video right now is just to give you all of the details. And please feel free at the end, I want to say this now before I forget, please feel free to leave your questions, comments in the description box, in the comment box down below, because I really want to hear what you think, and I want to hear feedback from you. I want to know what you're looking for in this class. I know what I'm planning on presenting, but I really do want this to also be participant driven, student driven, and I'm going to talk about that a little bit more in a minute. So what we're going to cover is knitting socks top down and toe up. I will be focusing on, we're going to start with top down, and I will be focusing on two techniques. Originally, I think I was trying to bite off much more than I could chew in my enthusiasm, and to make this again workable and sustainable for me, I had to eliminate a few things. So I've decided to focus on two techniques, on 2 circular needles and magic loop. I've gained a new appreciation for magic loop. I don't want to say I dismissed it, but I definitely had favorite. I had my favorite with the two circular needles, but I definitely see the advantages. There are many advantages to to magic loop. So those are the two techniques that we're going to be focusing on. The class is going to be broken down into different sections. So we're going to cover the 5 basic parts of a sock. So we were going to cover the cuff, casting on, and the cuff. That's one. The leg, the heel, the foot, and the toe. In each, so that's 5 basic classes to start with. Within each of those, each technique will be demonstrated on 2 circular needles and on a magic loop needle, magic loop style. I have decided not to do DPNs and the 9-inch circular needle. And again, full transparency here, I am not as familiar or comfortable with those 2 techniques. Those topics have been covered at length by far more skilled knitters, and I have an extensive list of video tutorials, patterns and book references and everything within my Ravelry group in the No Fear Sock Knitting Cal thread. So between that as a resource and just doing searches on YouTube, and there are other classes on Blueprint, which was formerly known as Craftsy, there are a lot of tutorials that expertly cover those topics. And again, to make this more sustainable for myself, I did have to eliminate certain things. So some of you may be disappointed by that, and I fully understand that. But I would rather present you with information that I know I can confidently teach. So that is why I made that decision. They're also going to be within the No Fear sock knitting class, they're going to be other categories, and one of them is going to be you're going to get sock doc videos. So me being the sock doc, and those are going to cover are demonstrating other knitting techniques, other tips, other tricks. We're going to cover using different color yarn for contrasting heel, cuffs, toes, color work, customizing your socks, all of those. So you're going to get your basic videos, you're going to get your sock doc videos, and I think presenting the information in shorter videos will make them a little bit more user-friendly for you, the knitter. Many people don't have the time to sit and watch an hour-long tutorial. Some do, some don't. And I don't always have the time to record hour-long videos on a weekly basis. But if I'm covering the basics and breaking this down into smaller bits of information, and I'd rather give you more videos that are shorter duration, because I feel like information's easier to process that way. And I've learned that from teaching over the years, especially recently. Too much information all at once in a short amount of time can feel a little overwhelming. So I think that the shorter video format is going to be a little bit more user-friendly for you and a little bit more sustainable, again, for me as the maker of these videos and tutorials. So that is the basic format. What we're also going to do, now I mentioned this earlier, is within this class, this online class, I'm going to be presenting weekly videos. And back to the reason why I made this free, it does take off the pressure in case I can't always meet that goal. I may have a child that's ill. We may have family things going on. There will be vacations, emergencies, different things like that. Good events, bad events, just events that will take me away from the camera at times. And again, not having that price point on it helps alleviate that pressure a little bit. So back to what I was saying, one thing that I do want to do with this is have a student-led portion where you as the knitter, you as the student of this class, I want you to send me your comments, send me your questions, send me pictures of your successes, of your failures, of your mistakes, and at the end of each video, I want to answer a question. So it's almost like a student-led Q&A that will be at the end of each video. So the basic point of the video, and then in answering that question, I can either answer you with a demo in the following week, or a demo within the SockDoc videos, or refer you to other tutorials if you have a question on something I didn't cover or can't cover. If you do have a DPN question, because the basic format of sock knitting is the same across all 4 techniques. So you may be following along and knitting on DPNs, but then you run into a problem, or on a 9-inch needle and you run into a problem. I can then direct you where to go to find the answer to your question, or to fix the problem, mistake, etc. I'm really excited about that. So basically the video is going to look like, you've got your opener. I'm going to greet you, tell you what we're going to be talking about in that video for the day, and then I jump right into the tutorial. Then I pop back on, we do a little Q&A at the end, and then I will see you next week. So it's a very, very comfortable format, or I think it will be a very comfortable format for me and for you as the viewer. And I really want to hear, as we start, what you think of that. So some more exciting news. Also going forward, as the seasons change and as the time of year changes, I also want to talk about sock news. I want to have a sock news segment as well, because I know a lot of you asked me over the holidays, and I know I only did 2 Vlogmas videos. I know, we won't talk about that again. But even within those 2 videos, I did get questions. How do I know when the advent calendars go on sale? How do I know how to find a pattern? How do I research something on a specific topic on YouTube? Sometimes you're not sure how to phrase what you're looking for. So I want to have a sock news portion, and we'll cover different things. So as I know that new patterns are coming out, new colorways with different designers, different dyers, new patterns from different designers, I want to bring that information, that news, those updates to you here on this platform. And those will be interspersed throughout the videos as we go forward. Each video will probably have either a Q&A section, a sock news section, or both. We'll see going forward. It depends on what's happening on Instagram and what information and news I'm given, or research and find out. So, and then another really exciting thing, there's a lot more that's going to be happening later in the year. I don't want to give it to you all in one shot, but one other thing that I'm really excited about is I'm hoping to, well, I'll talk about that later, but one thing that's going to be happening is I will be working with yarn dyers going forward, again, sharing their updates and their news, and partnering hopefully with a few of them. And we're going to start with LegacyFiberArtz. I'm going to start with LegacyFiberArtz, and I'm so excited about that. And we're going to be doing No Fear sock knitting kits. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited about this. So you will be, there will be kits available through LegacyFiberArtz website that tie into this class. It may be colorways, certain sock sets that will be available. Sue, Chelsea, and I are still working out those details, and our brains are buzzing with all of the possibilities, and we're really, really excited about that. And another portion of that that's still being ironed out as well is, as part of your kit, so you get your sock kit or your sock set. Now that could be either a sock set or just an individual colorway that's available. But I'm also going to be, one other concern of mine was still figuring out a way to make a little bit of money off of this, and fund the podcast and fund everything that I'm doing on my end, and financially support the podcast and the No Fear sock knitting series. And I love to sew, and I want to sew more, and I would like to offer, I will be offering project bags, and here they are. It's going to be this style project bag to start. I am so excited about these. I know many of you saw me using this in the fall, last fall, and so many people asked about this, where I got it from, where can they purchase one. So going forward, you are going to be able to purchase one from me. How exciting is that? How fun is that? I can't wait. There are going to be project bags and kits out there that will have the Earth Tones Girl name on them. And I'm really excited and proud of that going forward. Here's another bag that I made, and this bag has a boxed bottom. This one does not. And as the updates are taking place, I will let you know exactly what's available and what bags, what fabrics I'm going to be using. It's also, I also have an extensive fabric stash, really extensive. So it's also a good way for me to create income for the podcast and whittle away at my fabric stash. So it's a win-win all around. So you will be getting, and then our label here, or my label will be here, and the label may be different going forward, but each bag will have a label. I mean, isn't this is my Sock Monkey fabric. I love this so much. I think the first update will have a lot of this fabric in it, and I will let you know via Instagram and the podcast, just the general podcast, when the first update is going to happen. There's also going to be a pattern that's going to be available to you all. I have a couple of sock patterns, designs coming up in the very near future, but I wanted to have my simple vanilla sock pattern and my shorty sock pattern, or recipe as I like to call it, are also going to be available. There will be a very, very small fee for those. And we're going to start. So this is basically the general style shorty that we're going to be doing. But instead of the short, and ultimately there will be a short row heel, but to start, we're going to do the heel flap and gusset. That is how we're starting. That's how I'm going to start the online class, with teaching a shorty sock and teaching the heel flap and gusset. Heel flap and gusset heel. Did I say that right? Maybe being redundant. But and then later on, as the series continues, there will be a short row heel that I will also be covering. So you're going to get a lot of different heel options, afterthought heels, heel flap and gusset, short row heels. There's going to be a lot of information. So I'm so looking forward to bringing all of this to you. It will be coming out as we go along, and I will be very, very clear when patterns are available, the cost of patterns, when the project bags will be available, the cost of project bags. I'm also hoping to be able to offer DPN cozies. Now, I know, I heard you all go, but she's not teaching how to use DPNs. I heard you. You can use these with your 2 circular needles as well as your magic loop needles, and I will show you how to do that going forward. So there will be things in my shop, available for you. The kits will be coming, and there will be times where the kits are going to be partnered with the yarn. Sometimes you can get the yarn individually and then the bags individually. So all of that information will be coming a little bit later on, and not too much later. You don't have to wait another few months. I heard you thinking that too. I heard you. Well, she's probably going to make us wait another 3 months before she gets that. No, I'm not. So yes, so that basically sums it up. I can't begin to tell you how excited I am about this. There are plans in the future, later in the year, getting a little closer to Rhinebeck and all of those amazing events that tie into this. But I don't want to ruin the fun yet, so stay tuned for that. Lots of fun things. LegacyFiberArtz has been amazingly supportive, and I thank them so much for all of their encouragement and all of their support. I'm also going to be working with Tara, who is Mitchellscfiberarts. I'm really, really excited about that too. And I've been talking about that on my Instagram feed just a little bit. So yes, there will be other dyers and etc. going forward. So, yeah, so that pretty much sums it up, you guys. Like I said, this is going to be this class, the No Fear Sock Knitting class and platform is going to be an ongoing thing. I don't have an end date in sight. That was another thing that I didn't want to put on myself. Oh, and I didn't even finish. We're starting top down. And we're going to go through that. Once we do the basics of top down, then we will be starting work on toe up socks. So, yeah, and in between there will be regular podcast episodes. There will be the sock doc videos, just teaching different techniques, etc. And I did get a question about my sock talk. And I don't know, I may go back to sock talk, sock doc. We'll see. Those things to me that's not what's terribly important. It's just getting the information to you. But someone asked about the part 3, whether I was going to do part 3 of sock talk, because I had done part 1, which was heel, flap, and gusset, and part 2 was the afterthought heel, and they were waiting for the short row heel. The short row heel instructions and all of that are being tech edited, and then ultimately once that's done, then they will be test knit. So that is also in the process right now of happening. So there's a lot happening. There's going to be a lot of information that's brought to you, a lot of materials brought to you, a lot of things to purchase. I'm saying that wrong, but you know what I mean. So this is going to be a full class and experience that I want to bring all of you. It's one thing to see patterns online and want so much to knit them, but you don't have the skills or the confidence, and that's what I want to bring with you. That has always been my goal with the No Fear sock knitting concept or idea, that there isn't anything to fear with sock knitting. And I really want to bring that to you on a weekly basis with as much detail and information as I can, because I really want the world filled with as many sock knitters as we possibly can. And I want you to enjoy the process. Last year when we did the Cal, I can't tell you the amount of feedback that I got and the joy that people were sharing with me of their successes. And I want that to continue for more and more and more people. So that is my goal for all of this. I hope that you're excited with this most recent update. The first video will go live on this Saturday, February 1st. And going forward, we will probably have videos going live on Saturday mornings. They will be recorded throughout the week, and then you will get them on Saturday mornings going forward. And again, if there's ever a glitch or ever a delay in a video, I will hopefully give you as much notice about that as I possibly can. Okay? Thank you all so very much for tuning in with me today. I hope you're as excited as I am. If there's anything I didn't cover here or you have a question about anything, again, please leave the questions down below for me. I will answer as quickly as I can. Hopefully there's a lot of excitement about this. I know a lot of you have been waiting. So again, thank you for your patience. Thank you for watching today, and get ready because the sock knitting is about to begin. Thank you all so much, and I will see you again this Saturday. Bye, everybody.